Vardenfell is a relatively large island. When compared to nations like Valenwood or elsewhere, it is comparable in size. It's not surprising, then, to discover that the island has many different biomes, different regions, with different weather. As a newcomer to the island, likely the first place you will visit is Seyda, and though the town is small, cozy, and quaint, the region may not impress you much. The Bitter Coast is not the most welcoming place in Vardenfell. Though inhospitable, hot, humid, and swampy, the Bitter Coast can provide a place for an adventurer or explorer to make a fortune if one plays their cards right. However, it is also a place of danger to the untrained or those not properly prepared. If you are going to venture forth into Vardenfell, then you should know exactly where you are going and what dangers lie in wait. Welcome to An Adventurer's Guide to Vardenfell. In this entry, we are going to be going in depth into the Bitter Coast. The Bitter Coast is the region on the west and southwest coast of Vardenfell, bordered by the West Gash to the north and the Ascadian Isles to the east. The southern border is typically considered to be right around the town of Seyda, just west of Vivec, and the northern border of the region is Cartag Point, just south of the ancient Dunmer stronghold of Andesrith. The east border is the mountains of the West Gash, which essentially completely segregate the Bitter Coast from the rest of the island. Though mostly comprised of marsh and swamp, there are a few settlements in the region, mostly fishing villages. Also known as Smuggler's Coast, the Bitter Coast is dotted with small caves and grottos, which bandits, smugglers, and thieves call home. The coastal region of the West Gash is swamp, mixed with a little bit of marsh and more swamp. Most of the time, the region experiences cloudy weather, with only about 10% of the time being sunny. Expect rain and fog while visiting this region. And did I mention swamps? As mentioned, the West Gash is mostly swamp, with very little variety in terms of flora and fauna. In terms of plant life, the average explorer can find a plethora of fungal species, including Luminous rusula, Bungler's bane, Violet cuprinus, and Hypophacia. These mushrooms are valuable to alchemists, so an adventurer might want to pick them while here, and then sell them when they return to town. In addition to the variety of mushrooms, other valuable medicinal herbs include draggle tails, creche fiber, and slough ferns, fresh for the picking, if you don't mind wading through stagnant swamp water, that is. In terms of animal life, the fauna of the Bitter Coast is not that varied. The skies are dominated by the netch, both bull and betty, and of course, the occasional cliff racer. On land, one can expect to encounter mostly Nyx hounds, though from time to time an adventurer will come across a guama forager or scrib. The water is where the danger lies. In the water of the inner sea, one can find a multitude of the Vardenfell variant of mud crab, which are tame enough unless provoked. However, slaughterfish thrive in these swampy waters, making swimming a dangerous proposition. Even more deadly and rare are the drake. These sentient water creatures tend to congregate near caves and grottos, though they are found in the open water as well. These are dangerous enemies, and can swarm the distracted diver or swimmer, so a potion of water walking while venturing in these regions is recommended. There are only 3 settlements in the Bitter Coast. Seydanin. Though only a small fishing village, Seydanin is actually an important location in Vardenfell. It is here that major travel in and out of Vardenfell takes place. Newcomers to the island get their release papers reviewed and stamped here at the Census and Excise Office. A real straight house offers training and wares for the newcomer to the island. Siltstrider Transport can take travelers to Balmora, Vivek, Nices, and Saran. La Oad. North on the coast from, and smaller even than Seydanin, is the fishing village of La Oad. For the average adventurer or traveler, this place will have almost nothing of interest other than the boat transport, which offers water transport to Narmak, Molag Mar, Ebonheart, and Vivek. Fat Legs Drop-Off is the only store run by Trasteve, where one could drop by for some supplies, but his inventory is quite limited. It should be noted that La Oad has a reputation for being a stop in the smuggling trade, and there has been a rumor or two that the Kimona Tong has a hideout here, so it might be best to make your stop at La Oad a brief one. Narmak, even further up the coast, and the last settlement in the region is Narmak. This fishing village is only remarkable because it also happens to be the location of the Arenum Manor, home of Almsea Arenum and Oathman of House Lalu. The boat transport service will take you north to Cool and south to La Oad. Aside from the manor and the transport service, there isn't much here for the average traveler. Both the Kimona Tong and the Thieves Guild have a presence here in Nadine Rotheran's shack and the Drake Jigger's Rest, respectively. Otarku, the Khajiit, is rumored to be a member of the Thieves Guild, and word is he is a master trainer in sneak. Those looking for less than illegal services may find something of use here, but otherwise, this place is unlikely to be of any service other than a rest spot for the explorer or adventurer. Though short on settlements, there are quite a few places of interest in the Bitter Coast region. The area is dotted with caves, both natural and elf-made. This includes ancestral tombs. In this region you will find the Andrano, Andrethi, Heron, Norvain, Samaris, Ceres, and Thelas ancestral tombs. Outlanders should be warned away from grave robbing, however, as the Dunmer take their ancestors very seriously, and these tombs are usually guarded by spirits, skeleton, Daedra, and or the reanimated dead. Other caves in this region are rumored to be occupied by smugglers, slavers, and bandits, as previously mentioned, and it is recommended to the average traveler to avoid these. Now, an adventurer looking for a bounty would find plenty of work here, but it should be noted that there have been rumors of a strange cult making their home in some of these caves, so caution is advised. There are 3 Daedric ruins in the region: Adad Shashanamu, dedicated to the mad god Sheogorath; Ashalmi Milkala, which is a shrine to Maris Dagon a little bit south of Adad Shashanamu, both on a small chain of islands just off the coast. Daedric shrines are generally not a place for travelers at the best of times, but considering which 2 Daedra are worshipped at these shrines, it is doubly advised for folks to steer clear of them. The final shrine, Ashurni Bibi, is located northwest of Laoad. This shrine is inhabited by worshippers of Malakath. Add a shrine to Molag Bal, and you'd have the whole House of Troubles right here. As with the first two shrines mentioned, it's highly recommended that the lone adventurer not try his or her luck exploring this shrine. There is one ancient Dunmer stronghold in the region. Lormarin is located just east of Adad Shashanamu and Ashal Mimil Kala, just on the mainland. Archaeologists or scholars looking to learn more about the ancient Dunmer might find this place interesting. However, caution is advised, as word has it that a group of slavers has taken residence within. Finally, there is one small Dwemer ruin in the Bitter Coast. A left is located directly between Lormarin and Narmak, on the same little island chain as the two Daedric ruins mentioned earlier. It is a small place, and though typically guarded with Dwemer constructs, is a common stop for scholars and the like, and is probably far less dangerous than delving into the neighboring Daedric shrines. This concludes our tour of the Bitter Coast region, a place where you probably won't be doing a lot of vacationing or sightseeing, but one where a resourceful alchemist or an intrepid adventurer might make some coin. If one is careful not to tread on the toes of the smugglers, wander too close to a Daedric shrine, or step in Nixhound poo, the Bitter Coast really isn't that bad. Still, most people will likely want to be in and out of this place as quickly as possible. Thank you for joining me for another Adventurer's Guide to Vardenfell. May your boots stay dry and your adventures be fruitful. Until next time.